Hello everyone. Today we have a very interesting topic, cleansing your space, specifically cleansing your home. In the comments someone asked me to touch on this subject and I decided why not. It's definitely worth discussing because it's not only intriguing but also really useful, and I think many of you will find it long awaited. Plus, we haven't really covered any practical how-to videos for a while. I know you love practical techniques, but for some reason, people often ignore the theory or think they don't need it, even though, in reality, theory is directly linked to practice. A person first studies the theory, and only then does, say, a brain operation. A surgeon wouldn't just dive in without any theoretical knowledge. Yet, some of you want to jump straight into energetic work without any theory at all. However, talking about practical aspects of cleansing your home and space, well, most people can definitely use some of these methods. I'll give a few life hacks, so to speak, for people who can see a bit more on the subtle plane and may want to apply them. But honestly, even if you can't see energy, you can visualize the, and that's also perfectly effective. There's no such thing as someone having or not having a gift. Everyone can do things on the subtle plane. The question is whether you realize it or not. I've decided to split the topic of cleansing your space or home into two parts. In the first part, we'll focus on clearing out entities, looking at what can cause them to be there and how to get rid of them, along with some helpful tips. In the second part, we'll focus on energy in general, not just how to remove entities, but how to clear out negative energy, wash away bad vibes, and so on. Before we begin, I'd like to say that summer is almost here. Next week is June 1st and we can finally enjoy some sun, swims, go for swims, relax. Some people will be on vacation. This is the perfect time to spend days in nature, go for walks in the forest and soak in that outdoor energy. And of course, get some vitamin D by sunbathing. I hope and wish for all of you to have a wonderfully productive summer, that you enjoy it the way you'd like to. Maybe some of you are thinking, yeah, sure, I'm stuck in a hot office all day. Don't think like that, because guys, everything depends on our desire, on our intention. If you set the intention for an amazing summer break, that's how it will be. Just let go of all that limiting nonsense and realize that life can only unfold according to our will. If your will is to have a fantastic, powerful vacation, it will happen. I also want to mention that over the summer, my channel might take on a slightly more day-to-day vibe. We'll see how that goes. It doesn't mean I'll be uploading fewer videos or only posting once a month. No, we'll still have our usual Friday uploads. Maybe the videos will be a little shorter. I'll continue posting on Telegram about world events, talking about different countries and what's going on. None of that is going away. Over the summer, maybe I'll just have a bit less time, though you know me, I like to talk, so maybe not 5 or 10 minutes less. But I do want to lighten things up a bit for both of us. Some people have said, Nadezda, we can't keep up with all your content. We don't have enough time to listen to everything, even though it's all fascinating. Lately, I've been posting a lot, dedicating a lot of time to my channel, to you, to everyone's development. I truly enjoy seeing how you grow, how the things I talk about help many of you. That motivates me enormously. I also see it in the Sonecni Club chat. I communicate with people who've been watching since the very first videos on YouTube, and they tell me about the changes in their lives. How much has shifted since then? It's so inspiring, and it encourages me to work even more intensively because I know that what I'm doing and saying is needed by people. It truly helps them see the world from a different angle, re-examine their lives and perspectives, and shift their mindset completely. People leave behind depression. They start using intention in powerful ways. They stop getting sick. That's such a huge motivator. One person told me that when I first started posting videos, I seemed unsure if anyone needed them, but that person said I was the one who needed it. And that's enough, really, even though some folks might just snack on popcorn while watching, thinking, yeah, sure, keep talking. and never actually try to apply any of this in their own life. There are also those who do take it seriously and make radical changes for the better. That alone is reason for me to keep going. And for those people who truly use the knowledge, who let it transform their lives, this new video is for you. Alright, let's talk about cleansing your home. First, let's discuss clearing entities. Maybe this isn't news to anyone, but sometimes you walk into someone's place and sense something strange, like there's something living there that's not quite right. Plenty of people talk about staying somewhere overnight and feeling something attack them, or seeing someone wandering around a room. Others feel like their house is swarming with negative spirits, so-called larvae or sleep paralysis, entities that we recently discussed. Of course, these things don't just show up out of nowhere. People often invite them in without even realizing it. Now, I'm going to talk about portals. The reason I'm starting with driving out entities before talking about clearing the home's energy is that it makes no sense to try to remove negative vibes if your home's mess full of little devils messing everything up. That effort would be in vain. If you want to cleanse and revitalize your space, the first step is to remove or seal off portals. Get rid of anything that's basically functioning as a gateway to negative energies. Let's start from there. The first thing you need to do is get rid of portals. Some people assume that mirrors are portals, that they lead to otherworldly realms. But no, mirrors are not portals. In reality, you drag most portals into your home yourself. In many cases, it's all these protective charms that you bring in thinking they'll defend your home. You bring in all sorts of items or trinkets, believing they'll guard you. But when you invite the energy of some unknown entity into your home and say, this entity will protect my house, you're basically giving it an open door. Each of these call charms becomes a door, a portal leading into lower worlds, and you place them on your shelves, telling yourself, this thing will protect my apartment. Then you wonder why your home is full of negative spirits. I remember visiting someone's house once. They had loads of little amulets and charms everywhere. Tons of stuff. And let me tell you, the real toners were not the human residents, but the negative entities. They felt totally at home, because the homeowners themselves had brought in all this stuff. When my kids came in, they were like, wow, there are so many ghosts in here. Indeed, the place was crawling with them. We stayed only a couple of days, but every night was basically a battle. Those creatures would try to attack us in our sleep and at other times. They even yelled at these are at me. This is our apartment. Who do you think you are? And I said, this is the owner's place. They live here. The entities replied, those people belong to us. They're ours. Understand. So basically, the owners had become like property to these negative beings. If you're thinking, how do I get rid of random entities or larva or sleep paralysis? Maybe your first step is to throw out all the portals you've accumulated over time. Honestly, in 2020, when I had my final awakening, one of the first things I did was grab two huge black garbage bags, like 160 or 200-liter bags, and fill them with all sorts of junk I had at home. It ranged from random ritualistic items to weird old books from my grandmother's era, even some esoteric paraphernalia I had, like 2 decks of Course 36 and Tarot. I've never hidden the fact that I once had them. Everything went straight into the trash, and believe me, once all that ended up in the dumpster, the energy at home changed dramatically for the better. The next thing you can do to protect your home from entities is to set boundaries. Exactly the same kind of personal boundaries we establish around our own energy field. I have a video on personal boundaries which I'll link. I also have a playlist called Practical Knowledge where I put all videos that deal with various hands-on techniques. People sometimes complain, Nadezda, you talk about clearing out entities, but you don't say exactly how to get rid of them. Actually, I have a video on that, one of the very first videos I ever posted, and you can find it in that same Practical Knowledge playlist. Each of those videos may include theoretical information, but that theory is crucial to really understanding the practices. One can't exist without the other. So yes, the same way we set personal boundaries for our energy, we can do that for our apartment or house. We can say, this is my home, my reality, so no negative being can come in. In a practical sense, you might visualize drawing a boundary around your walls, literally walking around your place, imagining a line on the floor or on the walls that encloses your space, then saying, no entity can cross this line. That way nothing external can enter. But if you still keep a so-called portal item inside something you've convinced yourself is beneficial, then you've essentially given permission for negative beings to come and go through that portal. So, keep in mind that if you're holding on to something that grants access, the boundary you create won't be 100% effective. Another question: what if I clear out all the junk, set my boundaries, but still feel some entity lurking around? Or maybe you just want to do a preventative measure. I use two basic methods for this. The first one is what I call a energetic explosion. I visualize forming a super concentrated ball of bright white energy in the center of my home. I pack it with so much intensity that it's on the verge of bursting, and then I let it explode. That blast is a high frequency, light wave that literally burns away or pushes out any entities. Either they disintegrate or they get blown right out. The second method is what I call the furnace or firebox. I've mentioned it on my channel before, though not in a dedicated video. Essentially, you visualize a door that opens into something like a volcano or blazing lava, an intense fire that can disintegrate any energy down to particles. Every soul can access this furnace door intuitively. You might see it as a big oven door or a huge pit of lava. Everyone imagines it differently. Then, right in the middle of your house, you can open this furnace, summon a vortex that sucks in any entities that refuse to leave and they get burned up. You can do this periodically or whenever you sense something off, like a presence in the hallway or a figure in your room. If you sense something, you probably do. My motto is, if you suspect it, there's a reason. For safety's sake, open the furnace, create that vortex, and let it suck everything in. If nothing there, no problem. If there is something, it gets annihilated. Afterwards, remember to close the furnace so that nothing can crawl back out. There's a third option, though not everyone can do it, and that's calling down powerful energy from above. Only a few people can truly feel it, this energy from our true sun, and channel it intensely through their apartment. It's somewhat similar to the first method, where you concentrate energy and cause a massive flash that burns everything away. But in this case, you're pulling an even bigger flow of energy from higher up. You can visualize it as a scorching beam that destroys any entities. In fact, you can also use a flame visualization on yourself to burn away any negative programs or attachments stuck to your own energy field. You imagine yourself aflame, not physically on fire, of course, but ignited with the fire of your soul or elemental energy, which incinerates whatever's clinging to you. With the right skill set, it's very effective. Now let's talk about what doesn't work for clearing entities. As you might guess, random amulets and trinkets that supposedly protect your home do not help. Usually you're just inviting more entities in, ones that might scare off the competition, but won't bring you genuine benefit. Also, simply burning herbs or incense doesn't really work. And please don't tell me in the comments, Nadezda. You just don't understand. You haven't tried. I have tried. I've been able to see entities from childhood, so I can tell you that in most cases, they do not care about your smudge sticks. Sometimes certain herbs can even attract them. Not because they like the smell, but because some of these aromas can alter your consciousness, like aromatherapy or similar effects that might muddle your mind or make you more vulnerable. Once you're in a somewhat altered state, your energetic defenses can weaken, making it easier for entities to get close or attack. So, lighting herbs to make cleansing smoke doesn't drive away entities. It might disinfect the air physically. Some herbs have antibacterial properties, but that's different from removing spirits or negativity. And I'm not discounting the possible health or relaxation benefits of certain essential oils or herbal scents. I'm only saying they don't specifically repel entities. In fact, if you slip into a vulnerable, altered state, you might end up making it easier for them. That's why such practices, burning substances that cause intoxication, for instance, are often used in various cults or occult rituals, precisely because they put people in a weaker mental state. If you watched my video about alcohol and cigarettes, I mentioned that these things break the connection between soul, mind, and body, leaving you vulnerable. Entities often take advantage of that. Alright, I think that covers the main points about removing entities from your home, some primary ideas that came to mind. If you have questions, leave them in the comments. If I see a lot of interesting questions about either this topic of entities or the upcoming one about cleansing the home's energy specifically, I'll do a separate Q&A video. That's it for today, everyone. I wish you all the very best. I love you, hug you all. That's all for today. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share my channel. Become a member of my Telegram channel and discuss with like-minded people as a supporting club member.